Welcome back, everybody, to another daily recap on our usual pairs. Of course, gold, Bitcoin, and euro dollar for the day 28th of September. We're going to start off with gold, as usual. Our analysis was still very bearish for gold. As you can see, it disappeared. What happened? Okay, yes. Was very bearish for gold because we were playing the USD strength as we are doing basically from the last few days. As you can see, we are playing strength from the start of as you can see, this is the date of the FOMC speech. If you remember, we are playing the USD strength. We're going to see that is the same analysis for Bitcoin, and it played out the same, and as well for euro dollar, which played out exactly the same. So let's jump on gold. If you are on the 1 minute time frame, as you can see, I don't have, let me just pull out some PSAs, pre-planned PSAs. Here, 1744. Which is 1744, as you can see here. And this is what played. Okay, and bit. Okay, 1944. We had the lows here, and these lows were not planned. We had this, but we never reached it. Okay, so that's good. And the top rest of our key levels, as you can see, coming from this pre-London and pre-Eurozone open, we had a breakout below this previous PSA. Sort of retesting, break below. Now we are in the Eurozone session, below key level 1747. We are still playing strong bearish action. We have the break and retest with safe sells below safe sells below the key level, the PSA, sorry. Tack. As you can see here, the safe sells that were pre-planned, playing out for 70 pips. Another rejection, 1744 PSA, give you possible other entries, but since we are in a ranging period, it's better not to touch it until we break above or below. And this is exactly what happens. You see here, price breaks below, retests the PSA, dips below. Again, another retest of the PSA to give you confirmation of price trending, resuming the bearish trend, because we are in a bearish trend. We just want confirmation of where it will react to continuation down. And this was the point, reacting exactly at this PSA. Here, you enter here, you see that your stop loss. Yes, maybe you have taken partials, maybe you have taken the full take profit, but you can still re-enter here and continue the bearish trend. Break and retest below 1739, other PSA from the pre-planned analysis, playing out for how much? 70 pips more. So this was the high risk high reward entry. This was the medium risk entry and the safer entry. Then you see price creating another block, yes, breaking above, but still reacting at this PSA, failing to break above. We are coming into New York open. You have again nice headlines coming in from positive, optimistic for the US dollar, and you see the continuation of the range of the trend. This is high risk reward entry, but they failed to break above the key level. And from there, yes, you see a much higher big range, because we're talking about 100 pips range, but nonetheless is a range. I mean, we are not breaking above or below an important area. And as you can see, we are going to end off the day in the same fashion. Still bearish trend, but less clear. This is 100 pips range, and we're going to tackle it in details here specifically. So let's jump fast on Bitcoin. Let me clear it. Okay. As you can see, let me more or less following the same bias as gold. Of course, just different price action. Between PPLs, you have the reaction, you are bearish, you have the continuation here for 50 pips, with aggressive pullback. You go back into ranging period, consolidation. You fail to make new lower lows. So we have the rejection here that is showing you that we are not anymore creating lower highs and lower lows, which might have been still possible until here. You have another attempt and you still fail to break below this previous PSA. Again, double bottom, break and retest of the PPL, showing you possible liquidity grab, rejection, and coming into a new trend. If you are not trading ranges, you still want to wait below here or above. So you have the very impulsive and immediate correction before the 4-hour candle close, 75 pips move. Again, much clearer action. I don't know if there was any news, any spike, or just following, I don't know what, volume and volatility. But since then, you see price starting back to trend, because you see the reaction on these previous highs. You see break and retest. You don't enter exactly here if you don't feel safe, because look at here how nice retest of this previous PSA here and PPL. So you have the perfect confluence for high risk reward entries, medium risk entries at this PPL, and then you just melt down. You have some wicks, and after that you just begin to range. You still fail to break here, fail to break here. As you can see, not convincingly. I would have taken this entry over here that I shared because of possible trend continuation. Would have been stopped out, no issues at all. You just never know. Maybe it would have continued, because you know that price can move here and then continuation down. This time just went up. So no, we cannot ever be sure about the markets, and just that, yeah, you can identify here a shift in the bias, as you see bullish action breaking above these previous highs, retesting them, retesting the PPL, and then continuation up. So this one was possibly a good entry for like 25-30 pips. No drawdown, retest failing to break again these lows, and then 50 pips up. Let's go on euro dollar, which is pretty much the same, just as you can see, much more similar to Bitcoin than to gold. We are in a big range of like 20 pips, the full range. Here below the key level, you can see how it creates another support. But you're coming from London session, you see a shift with a multiple retests of these previous highs. You can start to shift into a trending bias and a shifting. You're not ranging, you're not just in a consolidation period, you are reversing. You maybe don't take the high risk reward entry here, but you can take the entry here. We can retest key level, here the move up. Some rejection, you see now price is not even making the new lows, so you see, okay, wait, don't take any trade here. You see the reaction here, you see, okay, let's wait, low volume, reaction again here, reaction again here. You want to scalp for 10 pips, 7 pips, you can, but you never know, because you don't know if it now come back here. So for me, it's better never to trade the range, because you don't know where price is going. Inside, of course, you see that price goes back to key level to support, key level to support. In real life, you don't know, but you just see a disgusting range. Now you're starting to see sort of wedging being created against the key level, and much aggressive bullish action. We are still in New York. You see the break and retest, fail to break below, and then this is a much safer entry. Yes, you might say we are not breaking above this level, but we are still, this is a key level, and we can take advantage of much safer 8 pips for sure. You don't need to fight this. Let's see here, maybe you take 7.5, maybe you don't know how much you are taking, so it's not good, always good to trade ranges. But here we have much cleaner action, rejection, break down, still again failing, reaction, much more messy. We are at the close of the hourly candle, the 3 p.m. Again, retesting the key level and just in a disgusting range. We are in New York. We see a big spike and an immediate correction. This was the time of Powell speaking and various central bank speakers. Let me go and check if we had any event. I don't remember if we had anything here. No, we only had the consumer confidence. Yeah, the consumer confidence was lower. Yeah, exactly. It was lower than expected. So that's why at 4 p.m. we had this spike. This was not in reactor on gold. No, nothing. No, the only impact was on euro, as you can see, but still failing to close any hourly candles, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, no hourly candle closing below the key level, as you can see here on the hourly time frame. Look at this big rejection. This is Bitcoin. I know that there's a better one. Exactly, this hourly candle closing strongly rejected and staying, all the hourly candles staying below the key level. And then, as you can see, just ranging all day, apart from this spike and the news and this break every test above the key level. So this is it for the daily recap. Let me just drink some water and we're going to tackle this area. All right, everybody. So what do we have here? What are we looking at? Why am I interested in this area? So what are the factors that we're coming towards from here, and from this bearish trend? We can say just extend this trend line, because it's not perfect, but it is what it is. Okay, so what are we making? What are we seeing? From here, we saw this reaction at these price points. We see reaction at these price points, giving you further entries. So you already have this one planned, you have this one causing some reaction, or preferably this one, depends. And you might extend here. Okay, so come towards New York, you are very bearish. You see the break and retest below 1735, which is not yet a price sensitivity area. This is placed for later on. But as you can see, you can identify these previous lows. I can usually use the candle bodies. In this case, as you can see, it reacted more to the wick directly. But usually I use the candle bodies. And as you can see, we see break and retest. You see this nice candle with the top wick and the rejection, top wick, then rejection, giving you no drawdown. As well here, this candle was bullish at the last minute. It closed, no need of the top wick on this candle, giving you quick 30 pips, no drawdown. And you see a reaction here. So you saw now, if you were expecting here, you saw this reaction at this previous week. You see price ranging and creating a flat candle body support, and you just start to extend it. You see price moving and failing to make new highs. It is either reacting here, it is either reacting there, we don't care, it's still reacting. This time, this price sensitivity area is still not 100% sure. You can put it with here. Okay. Okay, you can start putting here because it's candle bodies. So it start creating a price sensitivity area. Then you see this reaction. Of course, might be at this PSA. You don't care. You see price is sort of ranging. You want to take advantage. Either if it was exactly at the PSA, you would have taken the entry. Here you see the reaction is not even at its previous lows. And you see, look at the price action, how many weeks. Look at the size of the candles, how shitty they are. We are in New York, remember, and then we will compare to some more clean price action. Exactly here, clean. Look at this clean, nice candle bodies was New York, London. Nice candle bodies. Look at these candle bodies. Just a few weeks. Look, I compare it to here. This is messy. Also, the bullish trend is very, very messy. Then you have some clean, and then you have New York opening, making a lower wick, reacting, not even closing, reacting at this PSA, not even closing at this previous lows, not even reaching and revisiting, and then makes new highs. So you might say, okay, is this a new lower, higher low? This was a new higher high, and we're going to trend bullish, or we are going to react at this PSA on the left hand side and confirm that yes, we had a deeper pullback, but we are still reacting here and making new lower highs, lower lows, and this validating as a new lower high, and this is validating just a complex pullback. So you see here very strong bullish candle, equally strong bearish. You can't enter here. You see reaction there at the PSA, but you might start to think as a support. So you have to be careful. You see 1, 2, 3 candles. Okay, this candle is closing below. You see this retest. This can start to be look at break and retest. Is I might say it's a very high risk because we are still possible in a range, which is shown if you didn't see this one. Nothing is saying that we are not in range, so it didn't break below here. So very high risk reward. You see the wick being created, as I showed you every time. Big wick being created and then closing bearish. But probably might also been here, then there, then there. So not necessarily a good entry. Then you see you wait, you want the break below here or the break above here to confirm the continuation up. You see here, you see the reaction. This might be an opportunity because you see the reaction at this PSA and not breaking above. So it's still a high risk reward, but you have much more confirmation. Look at this candle, huge rejection. The very next candle was bullish, huge rejection, and then the next one directly goes below, no top wick, safe entries below this price sensitivity area, and watch at the opportunity, break below, retest, testing, and as you can see, retesting exactly these previous lows. You have this very next candle making a top wick and then flipping bearish, closing below. You can enter here at the candle close. You have a nice stop loss, almost no drawdown, and you have your take profit getting hit in a much safer trade. Of course, you didn't take the full trade, 100 pips, but you took exactly what you wanted. So safer here is still 40 pips, more than enough. If you took the high risk reward entry for the rejection, it's 70 pips more or less. This was very strong news. The headlines, let me show you. Okay, as you can see, look at the time, 2026. Very strong confirm of tapering, possible of double 2 rates increases in 2022, which is very strong bullish. And you see price reacting exactly after this at the new candle. So you can, if you are following the newsroom, enter exactly here or here, or much safer here, because now your trend is very bearish. You have the confirmation that the trend will resume, and this is just the confirmation of the rejection. So you have 70 and 40 pips. High risk, safer when the trend resumes. And now you see the reaction here. You see candles being more wicks, making more wicks, coming towards the end of the 4-hourly candle. As you can see, new 4-hour candle. Look at this. There was no need to make this lower wick in a bullish trend. No need, but this is a new 4-hour candle which needs to make a lower wick, grab some liquidity or the flows, still respecting price because the wick is not going there, still respecting price action, and then boom, spiking up. You have this confirmed based on experience, based on knowledge. You can say, okay, now we are in a bullish trend after this strong close. We want to see a break and retest of this PSA, which has been proven quite strong, quite effective in reaction, as you can see. And you see a break and a retest failing to break below. Next candle making a lower wick and then closing bullish. You can take a high risk, high reward around here when you see that the candle has a nice body and you have your nice take profit getting hit for like 50 pips. This is very tricky because you have to recognize very fast that you want a break and retest, that you're recognizing this candle is showing this candle at this time, this action that it did, bearish and then bullish, is D%, a very strong confirmation of the uptrend coming, so not ranging. Yes, you might say that, but wasn't the main bias bearish? Yes, but you see that in this very moment as a scalper, if not now, you are not entering now because yes, you might have the rejection here and price continuing down. That's why you don't enter here, but you start having the confirmation, the flex, the checklist. You start to check, okay, exhaustion of the sellers. Let me put it here. Sellers exhaustion. Yes. New 4-hour candle lower wick. Yes. New 4-hour candle taking production. No. Break and test of PSA. Yes. And this is your checklist that you have to have. Break and retest. Tack, tack. Lower wick being created. And then entry exactly. Here, when you see that the candle has a nice body. And from there, you see that we have 50 pips of profit. Okay. Price. Okay, let me just lower wick and then with nice body. Yes. Wait here. In the enough range. Yes. Look here, even if you react here, you still have 30 pips. So valid, etc. There you go. Very good. Okay. Tac. Then what you see, exactly what happened here is happening here. Rejection and these previous price points. You see the candle was traveling above and got rejected. Very short-lived, but still don't have the confirms of a trending. So that's why you don't enter there. It's just, okay, it's a rejection, but we are still in the range for now. What we see is price making a new higher low, reacting sort of failing to break below this previous PSA. We are in this big PSA, starting from there, this reaction, one, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, some reaction here, 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 here. Look at this candle. Look at these flat candle bodies. Look at that next. Look here. Look here. It's not a specific key level or price point, but it's still a very strong PSA. I will call it medium/intermediate because price is traveling across it, but it's causing reaction. So I will call it medium intermediate PSA. The price crosses, but all these reactions sort of like a PPL. It's not necessarily a price points where price will 100% react and get rejected, but it's still always causing some reactions. So let me just here. Okay. So, that's very good. Why are you doing this to me? Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Very good. Then what you see, price is breaking above the 1739, but still you have these price points already, and you see, okay, but why was it there was a line here? This price action was not respected much in this case, but why do I see the candle flipping here, the wick being created, this small body? One, two, three times. Look at here. Okay. So that's why let's hold it as accountable. You see a strong reaction, but you don't enter. This is the candle of our setup, top wick, but are we breaking below this previous lows? We are in a trend, which is confirmed. What is telling you that price is not going to jump exactly here? This is exactly the price point you want price to jump below before going back up. So you don't enter here unless you are very trustworthy of the key level. But you still have your opportunities. You break below the PSA. You see that we are breaking above. You have a reaction here. You see this, that you are at this PSA. Exactly. You don't see it much, but it showed. You know that it's very wide because it was reaction till here. So where do you, the point is, where do you consider that price is trending? You have different opportunities in this case. You have the confirmation of the New York Stock Exchange opening. New York Stock Exchange top wick being created. Yes. Big structure. No. We see price action. Price action. Yes. You see very strong price action. You are here. Remember, you are here. We PSA. Yes. And then you start seeing that exactly these lows, you have reaction. You start seeing that this candle got rejected. This might be your entry if you enter impulsively when the candle flips. You have the first entry, or safer when you see that this candle makes a top wick and then breaks below. This is your second entry for like how much? 45 pips. If you want to have the confirmation, you have this break below of this previous PSA. You have this candle making the same thing, but you have to consider that the possible active range is 35 pips. So it's okay. You get in, you get your 20 pips. Possibly you take your partials. If you had a 10 pips stop loss, you have 2 to 1, so it's a good partial situation, and you're still not losing anything. So here I show you 3 different entries: high risk, high reward, but very high risk. My preferred entry point, showing you have the confirmation of the trend, resuming, and the safest here. As you can see, I will paper, okay. use the candle in the top week and click and make with nice body. Yes. I want entry. Do I have the information as trending? Yes. With safer. There you go. Oh, as you can see. Okay. After that, you see price reacting here. Very strong reaction. You see no, yeah, you might consider if this is the action that I see, but are we actually, after seeing, let's be honest, after seeing that this was the previous loss, this price action didn't even push below or even at the level so that it could make lower low gap liquidity, it fell short. Do you really want to take a high risk reward rejection sells? I wouldn't be that sure. You have rejection, double top. This will be, looks like a nice rejection if the timing is right. Still the same concept applies. What you see here is price is making 1, 2 higher lows, and you see the reaction exactly here, which is snipering to the, so between the trend line and the PSA. Sniper entry, you see very strong bearish candle getting rejected. When the candle flips bullish, you might consider it. This confluence is only based on trend line, PSA, and that's it, hoping that it makes a new higher low. You have no confirms of price trending bullish, no confirms. So this is just based on your analysis, because there's no reason why it shouldn't react again here. And it works. You see the reaction at the PSA. You see how strong it was on the 1 minute. Intermediate, because it's always going across, but always causing reaction. You can see here, you might have the confirmation of price trending here, because you see reaction, you see weak bearish, you have this confirmed. So you didn't take the high skyward entry, and in my opinion, you are right. You have this confluence with this, and you have the setup. So you have 1, 2, and 3 confirms. I risk skyward entry. Then we see price making above, reacting and never closing strong below, lower wick being created, and you see price now is strong, making a nice candle body. You can enter at the flip of the candle. Is there enough range? In this case, yes, because you have more than enough confirmation that price might have probability of going to revisit these highs, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 confirms and confirms, and you have your 40 pips scalp range. You understand what I mean with all this? One PSA, 2, and line flash higher lows, 3, lower wick and number flip, not confirm and flip. 4, break and retest. 5, lower wick and flip, flip and golfing bottom. Yes, enough. Confirms. Confirms. So with you can put a hour here, and you can just even say 6, 6. You have plenty of range. 40, 45 pips range. There you go. Okay. And after that, you see some reaction. You see making a new higher low still, but we are coming towards the London close, not lower wick. Yes, it goes above. You see the reaction exactly at the same PSA that we are talking about since the morning. We're talking about this PSA since not here. Since here, since London session. Look how it was respected all along. But still, we have the rejection at the same PSA. We have the confirmation of the trend line. Yeah, so okay. Okay. This one, the same confirmation as before. Tap, the retest, same confirmation. First bullish engulfing candle, you're gonna have the high skyward entry again here. You have the break and retest, fail to break, another fail. If you enter here, you're still alive, and then you get your full range. And this is the analysis of the scalp. New hourly candle. So that's it.